educational training to the Namibians so that at some point they can rule Namibia once they get their independence. And I just want to, recall some of the things that make me respect this man so much as a leader of Namibia. One of the things that we're going to discover that immediately after independence, he became the first prime minister of Namibia. And not only that, he was actually the chairperson of the council or the committee that was appointed in order to draft the constitution of Namibia. And this is where I call my fellow young people in Namibia to say the best way we can, respect this man is by respecting the constitution that he helped draft. He is a man who really loved a lot of people. We cannot exhaust to mention a lot of achievements that he scored in the Republic of Namibia. Talk about the launching of so many programs that includes the Harambe, which was aimed at protecting the lives of the girls that were being slaughtered and harassed in some regions of Namibia there. You know the story very well. We can talk about the increment of the allowances that he did. And as a Pan-African, of course, outside, he really spearheaded. On a number of occasions, we've heard him speaking against so many barbaric acts that are being done by the European imperialists. He has talked against the Moroccan occupation of Western Sahara and of course supported the move that they must actually attain their freedom. Not only that, among the great achievements that he has made is standing so strong in support of the South African case against, which it launched at the International Court of Justice against Israel, on their inhuman treatment of the Palestinians. And he included this actually even in his message that he gave the Namibians as we entered the year 2024 on his message of the New Year Eve. So he is a man who never feared to speak for what is right. I think there are just a few presidents in Africa who really spoke strong about, the happenings in the Middle East, because these are some of the things that when you decide to be silent, then you're not being honest with yourself. Just look at how it has destabilized the economic stability of many African continents, and that includes Zambia. So we are really crying as African youths and as Zambian youths at large to lose such a leader who could speak so boldly on matters that are destabilizing the peace of the African continent. As you know, that many of us do not manufacture the things that we actually utilize. So instability somewhere, instability in the Middle East, instability in the Baltic Sea, instability in Ukraine, instability in Europe, instability in USA, it also brings instability in Zambia. So we really require leaders like President Hage Geingob who can stand in such kind of circumstances and also speak against these things. Personally, I cry as a young leader because, of course, this is a man that I was so attached to, not only due to the fact that he visited Zambia in 2022 on our Independence Day, but I was actually scheduled to meet him early next year as Namibia, votes for the new president, because this was his second and last term. But unfortunately, we have actually lost him before I could even travel to Namibia to go and meet this man. I like one point which I want to re-echo that he aired, because he was our guest of honor in 2022 in Zambia here on the 24th of October as we celebrated our independence. He was, invited as guest of honor by our Republican President, His Excellency, Mr. Hage, or who is a doc as well, although he doesn't like being called Dr. HH. He said, "We must be authors of our own history and the navigators of our own destiny. Let our freedom and independence drive us to collectively achieve milestones. Together as free people, let us hold hands and march towards our common destiny, a destiny of shared prosperity and economic emancipation." When you listen to all, the words that were coming out of his mouth on that day, as I watched him very closely at Government Complex, you can actually see a son of Africa who really loves this continent. And that's why you discover that actually in Namibia, one of the things I've observed is that right from State House, when a president is seated, the other side there's the Namibian flag and the other side there's the African Union flag. That really to me speaks a lot, as it shows that the Namibian people have got a sense of belonging to a bigger community, which is the African continent. And this is very, very important for the African leaders to emulate, because this thing of seeing yourself as an autonomous person who just exists in a separate area is what is making many people not to be accountable. So there is a sense in which we need to begin to drive people in a way that they should become accountable, even in terms of how they make decisions in this African continent. So Africa, we have really lost a great giant, but of course he has run his race. 82 years old is not a small period of time. He was born in the year 1941, died in 2024. It can be very, very unfortunate of us to say there's nothing that we have learned. So let us celebrate him, much as we are mourning him, because the time that he has lived is enough for us to learn one or two things. Aluta must continue. I thank you so much for your attention. Let us continue to move in the path of our African leaders who really fought for our independence. I thank you so much. Amen.